Bitcoin mining pools with 75% of BTC hash rate join open standard for block construction. How does this impact the mining space of cryptocurrency? Foundry, Ant Pool, F2 Pool, Spider Pool, and MRA Pool are among 7 pools joining the Stratum V2 working group. I don't know how they came up with the name for those mining pools, but they sound insane. Anyway, putting nearly 3/4 of global Bitcoin hash rate behind a protocol that returns block construction decisions to individual miners, Stratum V2 allows individual miners, rather than pool operators, to choose which transactions go into new blocks, addressing long-standing concerns about centralized control over transaction selection. The move comes as miners face tight economics, with an estimated 20% operating unprofitably and network difficulty and hash rate continuing to climb. The biggest decentralization move Bitcoin mining has seen in years just happened quietly, with 7 of the largest pools agreeing to back the same open standard. Now here's a story that you may not have heard. Foundry, Ant Pool, F2 Pool, Spider Pool, MRA Pool, Block Inc., and DMND have all joined the Stratum V2 working group, the group announced last week. Stratum V2 is an open-source protocol governing how mining pools communicate with the individual miners in those pools. The biggest practical change it introduces is letting individual miners construct their own block templates, meaning the choice of which transactions get included in each new block sits with the miner rather than whoever operates the pool, which I think is fair play. Foundry alone controls 34.2% of global Bitcoin hash rate, Ant Pool another 14.2%, F2 Pool 11.3%, and Spider Pool 10.5%, with Mara Pool adding 4.7% per hash rate index data. Together with the rest of the Stratum V2 signatories, the 7 pools now backing the standard represent close to 75% of all Bitcoin hash rate. Under the current Stratum V1 standard, the transaction selection for nearly every new block sits with the pool operators rather than the individual miners actually doing the work. That concentration has been the loudest structural concern about modern mining for the past 2 years. Stratum V2 does not change hash rate concentration, but it does change who decides what goes into each block, which is the part the Bitcoin community actually worries about. This has been a weight of the minds of many Bitcoin holders as well. A single pool controlling more than 30% of hash rate is less than ideal, as the same pool deciding the transaction order for that share of blocks is the actual risk people point to. The protocol has existed since 2022, when Braiins and Spiral co-founded the working group. Until now, it had been treated as a niche side project with limited adoption. Foundry and Ant Pool joining gives it real reach, with the working group framing the move as the start of a new phase of accelerated deployment. The timing also matches what the broader mining cohort is dealing with. Cohort sounds like a diss, but anyway, I digress. CoinShares estimates up to 20% of miners are currently unprofitable, with hash price, the revenue a miner earns per unit of computing power, sitting at $38.57 per petahash per second per day, at or near break-even for operators running mid-generation hardware. The network requires so much compute power it's actually insane. Difficulty is set to rise again on May 15th from 132.47 T to 135.64 T. Network hash rate now sits at 998 exahash per second.